Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish.
You got me. I was trying to get my dog to go in the house, but he's decided he's going to hang out here. And you know what's going to happen. The mailman's going to come and he's just going to go berserk. So beforehand, I'm letting you know ahead of time what's up. Hello, Doris, Alice, Jocelyn, Kathy. Good to have you here. We're wrapping up this week. We've kind of been talking this week about goals and the impediments to goals and where we get caught. And I really wanted to do this because starting next week, it is next week, isn't it? Is September 1st. Can you believe that is this close? Well, we are going to be kicking off the Hot Melt 30. If you're unfamiliar with the Hot Melt 30, you need to become familiar with the Hot Melt 30. This has been, shall we say, the impetus for creating good, long-lasting change in a number of our lovelies' lives. And they often will come on here and say, yep, that was me. And they'll have their Hot Melt 30 hashtags going and the whole bit. Because, the longer we do something, the more it becomes a habit, and then it just becomes a part of what it is that we do. That's what we're trying to create here. So I just invite you into this whole realm of Hot Melt 30-ness. Hi, Jennifer. You can find Hot Melt 30 at savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY. And if you're wise and a wise woman, you're going to buy the kit that will go with the program. It is not necessary or mandatory, I should say, but it is optimal. And this is how you move the needle. You get the kit. We're going to give you 25% off, not 15% off. We're also going to throw in the Hot Melt Sprint books. The plans and recipes are in here. And you know what else we're going to do? We are going to give you the guide absolutely free. So that's like over $50 in value plus the percent off. So it's really freaking great deal. If you go to savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY, that's basically the hub for everything. You'll find the webinar there that we did on Monday. You'll find everything that you can possibly need and get yourself situated and started. I'm really excited. We've got a lot of people participating on this. There's no special group or anything. We're to be in the Hot Melt group on Facebook, and we'll be there supporting one another, hashtagging it up, and the whole 9 yards. So that is what we have going on, and that is our special of the week too. So take advantage, even if you don't plan on doing the Hot Melt 30. If you get our perfect paleo protein and all the other stuff, you are going to want to take advantage of getting this all together in a kit. You'll get your fiber, you'll get your Hot Melt mix, you'll get, all the things. And it's a tremendous discount. So that's a great deal. And don't forget too, some of the larger kits are over $300, and you will save also on postage because it's on us at that point. Hi, Butterfly. I'm so glad to see you. So that is really good. It's so interesting to watch the construction behind me. I'll give you, look, I just have to show you. This is what I'm living with over here. Look at that. Isn't that terrible? Yeah, this is my life right here. Everything's just, and I have this one little oasis, which is where I am. I call this my summer office. I told Mark I'm still going to be out here because I love being out here outside. But all the windows are done. Did I show you the windows? So it used to look just like this, with the, is that, with the fence like that and open like that. Now it has all these windows and every other one opens, and there'll be ceiling fans up here. And then where I'm sitting right now is going to be the porch. It's going to be cool because all of that will be knocked out. So it'll open up the kitchen and it'll open up the living room. This is going to take us a long time to get done, a really long time, because, you know, it's not cheap doing all this stuff. And I will tell you, my husband scavengers um, all the building sites. We have a lot of building going on around us. And so he's like, hey, do you need this? And he's using scrap wood mostly. I'm impressed with the way that he's done it. He's got stuff that's left over from other projects. So yeah, he's pretty good. And then all the siding that he's been taking down, he has been repurposing and using outside. So you have to be smart about these things. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and he's doing it all himself too. So I'm proud of him for that. I just don't like the mess. Can I just be honest with you? All righty. So the Crave water is back in stock. Did you know that? It is back in stock, and it is flying off the shelves. We have more coming in, but it is going out just as fast as we can get it in because of how, this is effective stuff. It works like gangbusters. You can find it at savingdinner.com/CW. CW. C as in crave, W as in water. CW. Okay. Use that link. That's going to get you directly there. I want that one. I just want you to know about that. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Oh, the quote of the week is just absolutely slaying me. I love this. Tell me what you pay attention to, and I will tell you who you are, because what we do, not what we say, is who we are, and it's who we become, and it's all the things. So I just want you to, let's pay attention to these things, because these are the things that move the needle in our lives. And we could just say, when we don't understand and get frustrated with why things aren't working out for us, we can always look back and say, where's my attention going? What am I focused on? We can reel ourselves back in. We have that ability to do that. That's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today, because, this whole week we've been talking about setting goals. And oftentimes what happens when we're setting goals is we get frustrated in the process, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. And where I see the real hiccup is that, and I love that somebody had finally written about it, because when I first heard this principle about the gap and the gain, I was like, that's what it is. That's what it is. And that was basically the bane of my whole existence and frustration. And it's this, that I kept looking at all the things that I needed to do in order to get to the place of achieving this actual goal, and felt frustrated and felt like it wasn't going fast enough, and sometimes gave up, versus looking at all that I had accomplished already and how far I had come. Because when we do that, we are, instead of focusing on the gap of what it is that we don't have, we're focusing on all the things that we have done toward that goal. And it changes the whole perspective. It changes the whole way that we think about things. And when that happens, oh my gosh, we feel so much better about ourselves. We feel so much better about our progress. We see ourselves in a completely different light. So instead of being demotivated, we are motivated. Instead of stopping the progress keeps continuing. But another impediment that we discovered and we talked about as well is this whole excuse trap. And, excuses, we're aware of a lot of them. We are aware of a lot of them, some of which we bought into, that, we think we adopt basically this culture's notion of that we don't have time, and that, we're at a shortage of time all the time, and blah, 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 blah. And I say that's not true, because if we really want to get a handle on time, we can get out our time block sheets, by the way, free at savingdinner.com/time. We can get out our time blocking sheets and figure out where all of our time is going. Because oftentimes it is an eye opener and a half, and we're just kind of gobsmacked at how much time we've spent, or we get a screen report from our phone saying you spent X amount of hours today on your phone. That's where our time is going, because where our attention goes, that's where our time goes. That's where our focus goes. That's where our energy goes, not toward the things that we say are our priorities. And that's why we're talking about all of this. So I think that oftentimes excuses are this beard, if you will, for just staying in the comfort zone. We bought into it. We believe the cultural lie of nobody, that you don't have enough time. And we believe also that, you know, the comfort zone is where we want to stay, even though it frustrates us really at the end of the day, even though we say this is where we want to go. But, that's like saying, I want to go to Europe and never getting your passport. That's like saying going to Europe and never buying a ticket for the plane, or making accommodations for where you're going to stay when you go. That's what that's about. So if we make a different decision and decide that this is what we want to do, there are things that we're going to have to get over and start doing. And one of these things is, I just thought about this one and it came up. I have this book. This is a really good book, by the way. The second time that I'm reading it. It's called The Little Black Book of Workout Motivation, because sometimes I just need to talk myself into keeping at this. My consistency can get inconsistent if I'm not fully aware of where I am with my time, how it is that I'm doing it, and what I can do about managing it better. Because goals don't get accomplished by wishes. They get accomplished by action and what it is that you're doing. It gets accomplished by making sure that it's planned for. Those tasks have time to get completed. So in here, I saw the best thing. I'm going to read them to you later. I had some ideas this guy gave me about getting through the tough times, and I just went, you know what, that's brilliant. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Thank you, Michael Matthews. Okay, he's the guy who did the Shredded Chef stuff a few years ago, if you remember that. And he's on the cover of a cookbook without his shirt on, which I always think is kind of gross in a kitchen. Sorry, even if he has a killer bod, but still, I don't want to see anybody's shirtless arm. I don't want to see hairy man armpits and stuff. Do you? I don't think so. Anyway, so as I was saying, and I said, well, what is this? We've heard the Nike principle of just do it, and it's the just do it is saying show up when you don't want to show up. It's saying, yeah, I know you don't want to feel like it, but you're going to do it anyway. And this to me is the essence of showing up for ourselves. And it is a cornerstone of self-care. When we do the things that we say, the promises that we make, when you get sick and tired of breaking the promises that you made to yourself, because that's what a goal is, right? The goal is the promise of this thing being completed and done by the virtue of the fact that you're doing it, by virtue of the fact that you're showing up every day to get this thing done, by being consistent. So I just thought this is really good. So yeah, there's this inertia that we all experience in the comfort zone, because the comfort zone, come on, comfort zone's easy. Comfort zone is familiar. The comfort zone is the couch, the phone, the Netflix, the things, and all of that stuff. And it feels really good for a minute, until at the end of the day, we're going back, tallying our wins and saying, this is the progress that I've made toward my goals today. And we realize we haven't made any. And then that's where things kind of fall apart. So let's push against and away from and through the resistance and talk about what are some of the things that we can do in order to just do it. Okay. So I'm going to go through some of the things that I've come up with. They're a little bit different. And then I'm going to read you what Michael came up with in his book, which I think is really excellent. So these are things that we need back, little helps in our back pocket for when we reach these places, because we all reach them, where it's just really not fun. And it's more fun to plan for it than it is to do it. Right? It's more fun to get the ducks in a row and have your menu planning stuff all out there and going and doing the grocery shopping than it is to actually chop and cook and have it done and ready. All of that. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but what I'm trying to do is prepare you for our next week. because September 1st is right around the corner. You've got a Labor Day to navigate, right? You got a Labor Day to navigate if you're going to do this. You can take a day off if you want to. I mean, you don't have to do this perfectly. You have to do it excellently, though. And if it's better for you, then take a day off. But then show up the next day and do it. And maybe what it is not taking a day off, but taking the day on until you go to that big picnic, and then you're going to have a beer or a glass of wine and eat the steak and the potato salad or whatever it is that, is being made. Or maybe you say, you know what, I can do this when I go to this, situation. I don't have to have a beer or a wine. I don't have to have the potato salad. I can stick with a big green salad and that steak that they're making, and I'll just make do. It's totally up to you. But my point is that I want to bring this to your attention because I want you to know that you can do these things and you can do things excellently. And it's just not, I don't want you to be held back by this notion of perfection, because a holiday shouldn't throw us off, right? So here's a couple of things that you can do. And this one I love the best because this is one of the most helpful things for me. And that is to think about and visualize the afterglow of just doing it anyway. And I do this a lot. So there's times I just do not want to go to the gym. I'll be dressed, I'll be ready to go. And I'm thinking, but I've got so much to do here, and then I start thinking about I have a closet project that I'm working on. I've got to get rid of the shoes that just have to go, right? Done. And I start thinking about, well, what are your priorities, Leanne? What are your priorities? This gym thing is a priority. So let's get back on that. And you have to keep dragging yourself back in. And one of the ways to get yourself back in and saying, okay, let's go do this, is to visualize and think about yourself on when it is that you do the thing that you say you're going to do and what it feels like afterwards. Because there's an afterglow afterwards, especially when we haven't felt like doing it. Do you know what I'm talking about? You show up and you do it anyway, and you say, you know what? I feel really good about this. I feel really good about myself and the fact that I just did this. And if we can visualize that, and especially one of my tools is writing that down in my journal and then going back and revisiting it. One of the things I do is I flag those corners. I get those little flags that you can buy. They're like neon colored and they stick to your page in your book. You can get one of those and just put that there so that when you're feeling like, I just don't want to do this, and you're talking yourself out of it, you can talk yourself back into it by reliving that moment. And if you write it all down, then it's almost like you're reliving it in real time. And remember this, your brain doesn't understand the difference between acting it out and having it be a thing or not. So why not leverage that, right? Makes good sense. Number 2, of course, you've heard me say this before, but dress the part. Get your costume on. I just played pickleball today. If I were to stand up, I could show you my t-shirt, the shirt that I wore today, my lovely, there it is, sports bra, and a skirt with little built-in shorts. I am dressed in the part, except I have a visor on and sunglasses. I'm not going to do that here. But dressing the part to go play pickleball, dressing the part to go to the gym, dressing the part to have that job interview that you want, dressing the part. When we dress the part, we are playing an actor or, playing a part of whatever it is that we're trying to be. And it makes a big difference. If I tried to go out onto the pickleball courts in the outfit that I wear to go work out at the gym, I would be miserable because I would be way too hot. However, sometimes I'll play pickleball and I'll go right into the gym and do my workout right after. And I'm fine, because I'm dressed that way. It doesn't matter. But the point is that what you wear is part of your identity. So show up, it's one of the reasons why, Marla would always say, Fly Lady would always say, get dressed to shoes. because shoes say that it's time to get out there and get doing and do something. Same idea. Then there's other things that you can do, and this also is huge. And I read this. I think it was Tiny Habits. It was BJ Fogg, and that was to keep congratulating yourself when you do something. High five, man! You did that. You did those reps. You know, you showed up at the gym. You chopped that. You know, the stuff for your salad. You did all the, yeah. High five. Because we don't need to be dragging ourselves through things. We need to be looking at how we are accomplishing these things. Remember gap and gain? This is a gain. You know, you dressed the part, you showed up, you know, you've done all these things. Now give yourself a high five, you know, visualize the afterglow. What we're doing is putting ourselves in these moments where we have these victories. And if we do this at the times that we don't feel like doing it, then our brains are going to start to emote and drag out the chemicals that it usually brings out for when things like this actually happen. Because again, you don't have to really do it in order to fool your brain. You know, your brain will fall in line. The other thing you can do is some affirmation cards. We have these affirmation decks that are just lovely. And I love them because they start with either an I am or an of course. And when we say to our brain, of course, I'm going to do this workout. Of course, I'm going to stick with the Hot Melt 30 plan all the way. Of course, I'm going to do my meditation first thing in the morning. Our brains are like, oh, okay, yeah. That's what, of course we are. Yeah, let's go do this, right? And then we have a stronger pull to go do this, more of a pull than the couch pull, right? We want to get those things done. I want to get this off my list. That's another thing that I'll do. I want to get this off my list. I need to see more checked boxes, right? That's also something. Your brain, by the way, loves a to-do list and loves to see things get checked off. It's exciting. Have you ever felt that inside? I know you have. It is crazy exciting. Get this one, and that's aromatherapy. Aromatherapy can stimulate your brain too. Lavender is very relaxing. Eucalyptus, for example, is very energetic. What do you want? It's like putting on music, you know? Do you want something that's very sedate and quiet and calm, classical guitar or whatever, just playing like brunch music? Or do you need something that's going to bring the house down and make you dance like a crazy lady? You know? What is it that you need? You can do that same thing with your sense. You can do it with your movement. But the thing is that changing your body's chemistry is going to change the way that you take this on. And your first decision is just doing it. Your first decision is just doing it. Then you add all this stuff in it. And all of a sudden, it does become easier. All of a sudden, it does become something that you get done. And you're not fighting yourself nearly as much. Try 5 minutes. Okay? You know, Fly Lady says you can get anything done in 15 minutes or whatever. But what I'm saying to you is just say for 5 minutes, I'm just going to do this one thing. I will just do 5 minutes. And if I don't want to do it anymore, then I'm just going to quit. And I will tell you, 99 times out of 100, you will not. You will keep going. You will get it done. You will stay the course. And at the very end of it, then you'll get all the feel goods for doing the thing that you didn't want to do. You know, it's basically a double dopamine hit. And it's also training your amygdala to take a seat and shut up, right? Because you know how she is. She gets all out of control. And like I said, I love my music on my phone. I have a power list that I play, and it's just everything about it. It just makes me, you know, I love it. I'll turn it up really loud, Mark will be gone or whatever, and I will power through some chore, getting some things done. I vacuum every other day in my house just because of dog hair and what have you. And it's just easy. It's just a quick little vacuum. I have a $25, you know, one of those electric, I don't know what they are, but just, you know, and you empty the can out and what have you. It takes me 10 minutes, but there's so many. How often have I said, I just don't want to do it? Well, just do it. It always makes me feel better. I always love the fact that there's clean floors and I can walk around barefoot without worrying about dog hair or anything like that. And with the music playing, I've got 2 songs, 3 songs, and I'm done. So it's not a big deal. And I'm singing at the top of my lungs. It's not pretty, but who cares? You can do the very same thing. The other thing is piggybacking your tasks. What makes sense to you? Well, if you are, if you're emptying your washing machine into your dryer, it makes sense that whatever came out of the dryer is going to get folded and put away, right? There's a piggyback task, not just the one thing, but those 2 things. And it's not a big deal. Just do it. You can also do that with, your dishwasher. And I race my coffee pot to get my dishwasher unloaded, then do a 4-minute workout before I can have my coffee. These are things that you can do in order to get tasks completed. And remember, our brains love the checked marks. Love it. Don't forget that the other thing is an accountability partner. We call them body clutter buddies. It makes such a difference because somebody is invested in you and you are invested in somebody else. You're taking it a step further and you're saying, hold me to an account. Hold me to an account. You can't lose on this kind of thing. And as a matter of fact, all the studies have shown that when you're planned out, when you made your goal, put it out in public and said, this is what I'm doing, and then you have an accountability partner, the odds of you making it go up exponentially to even 91% in some studies. It's crazy. Completing, So do that. And then make yourself a vision board and make it vibrant. This is me. This is me. This is, there's you on that plane on your way to Paris. There is, Mother Hen did this, our Nancy did this. Her goal was to be here for full bloom last summer. And she had a picture of Wanda. She took my picture that I had of Wanda from Facebook and she blew it up and she put it on her vision board. She had all these things on her vision board that told the story of what it is that she wanted. Well, you can do the same thing. What do you want? Put it on your vision board and let it feed you. Because the thing is, it's emotionally satisfying to see that this is the thing, this is the thing that's going to happen. I've shown you my old vision board that had the house on it on the water, again, didn't look exactly like I thought it would, but it didn't matter. I still have the idea of it, right? I still live there. So the other thing that you can do is pay yourself. Every time you do something, put a quarter in your jar, put $1 in the jar or whatever. And then take that money and go spend it on yourself. On yourself, go get yourself something with that at the end of the week or the month or whatever it is, that kind of a deal, whatever turns you on. Because that is, you meet a certain goal, you need to feel what it feels like to be rewarded for making that goal. And then here's the daily mantra thing. I love this. And he's talking about, I'm going to give you some examples of this, and you need to do this. You need to do this. I'm working on mine right now. I don't have it. Otherwise I would share it, but I am working on mine right now because, I have my affirmation goals that I say every single day. One that I've kept for, I think like 2 years now, that I am an athlete goal. I keep that one up because, it might be a part of who I am, but I'm too scared to let it go because I don't ever want to slide back to where I was, So I think, that's important, but these are a little bit different. So this is what the guys who came up with this said. Regardless of what you are doing, whether you are using your body, mind, or soul, repeating a purpose-driven mantra during times of fear, pain, or apprehension can yield big results. Doing so grounds us, attenuates negative emotions, and quiets our egos. And here are some examples. A professional bike rider who wrote the following mantra and stuck it on his handlebars so he sees it whenever the pace, the pain, the pickups, and he puts, and whenever the pace, the pain pick up, and he puts his head down. This is what he sees. To inspire other people to get out of their comfort zones and live life to its fullest. This is why he rides, right? And then here's another one, a manager at a healthcare company who reminds herself why she feels inane and frustrating questions from frontline staff. And it says in hers, and you know, the little 3x5 cards, to make a difference in the lives of other human beings. In other words, there's a bigger purpose behind what you're doing other than just following through and getting it done. Behind all of that is a bigger purpose. And it's those, yes, it's those goals and what have you, but behind all the goals is that you are trying to live a more vibrant life so you can live your life on purpose and for purpose. Otherwise, why are you here? Right? That's what this is. An artist who finds inspiration to do the boring non-art stuff to fulfill her purpose. Hers is to create beautiful art that moves people. It's taking it to the next level when we do this, and it's edging ourselves to a higher level. And when we do this, we're not only training our brains and getting a new neural pathway going and showing ourselves we're so much stronger than we think we are, and the resilience comes out and the tenacity and everything else that we have. We figure these things out. We figure it out without having to know the why. We just know that this is the way it needs to be because this is the purpose. This is the purpose. So, you know, write about your future self. You know, that's another thing. Ask yourself why you're doing this. You know, use the why matrix and keep asking yourself why until you feel it in your heart. The whys will tell you why it is that you're doing it. It's not so you can have a smaller butt, for example. It's not so just that. It's not just that. There's a bigger why at the end of it. And when we look at all of these things, we're using these mantras and we're getting beyond all the stuff and we're being a little bit creative about it simply by noticing, simply by being curious, simply by talking about things that are of greater purpose than we even think or know about. Then we can see ourselves to the place of really making these goals happen. And I'll tell you, Hot Melt 30, it's a little bit of a BHAG, you know, big, hairy, audacious goal. I'm asking you to stick with something for 30 days. Not perfectly, but certainly excellently. Say excellently 3 times fast. I dare you. It's hard. Anyway, that's all I have for you today, you know. You have big decisions to make, you know, this weekend if you haven't already joined us in the Hot Melt 30. I really invite you into this place because it is beyond just a food plan. It is a you plan. It is all about you and making your life that much more vibrant. Promise. Promise. You take this on and you're going to see yourself in a whole new light. You give it your all. You are going to see something inside of you that you didn't even know existed. Yes, it starts with this. So check it out at savingdinner.com/30 THIRTY and get on it. If you missed any of our announcements, we have them on one page. It's called the announcements page. Of course it is. Go to savingdinner.com/announcements and there it will be. Meanwhile, we're coming up on the weekend. Can you believe how fast these weeks go? I just can't. We will see you on Monday for Motivational Monday. Until then, peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.